Hello folks, welcome to another video. I hope this one finds you healthy, wealthy and wise. Is that possible? To be all three of those things in 2023? I don't know. I definitely am not all of those three things. In fact, I'm none of those things. Anyway folks, welcome to another video. Healthy, wealthy and wise for my Aussie mates watching this may remember a television program hosted by a fat bastard whose name escapes me back in the maybe the 90s, called Healthy, Wealthy and Wise. One of those lifestyle programs. We saw the rise of the lifestyle genre at that time in Australia. Anyway, folks, welcome to another video featuring, isn't it gorgeous? This is a Beechcraft Baron. No surprise there, very recognisable aeroplane. Available as a stock aircraft in the deluxe and premium editions of the Sim, and now available as an analogue aircraft. Analogue panel, let me jump inside for you. It looks like that. Hey, the stock aircraft with, that comes with the Sim, that would be why it's called stock, mate, has the G1000-y thing, lots of glass. Now we have the steam gauges, thanks to the folks over there at Black Square. This is the Black Square Analog Baron, hot on the heels of the Black Square Analog Bonanza and a King Air and a Caravan. They have also released. It's their thing to redo the avionics. Charge you about 30 quid, 30 US, something like that, which is about, I don't know, 224 Australian dollars. Or close enough to it. Yeah, but they do more than that. They do more than that. And I just want to be really clear off the bat here. When you go back outside, it's just a beautiful, beautiful morning in this part of the world. And I'll talk about where we are and why we're here in a minute. I want to be really clear. This is a first impression style video. If you've seen other first impression style videos on my channel, you know that I don't do reviews. These are not an in-depth look at the aeroplane. Okay? If you want an in-depth technical look at this aeroplane and all the good stuff that's built into this Black Square Analog Baron, there are other channels. There are better channels out there. There are better pilots. Hell, there are better human beings that you can avail yourself of to take you through the technical detail. I'm not going to do that. I appreciate the technical detail. I do really appreciate this add-on, but I'm not going to do it justice in terms of exploring the full depth. Okay, so first impressions from an old fella who splashed a bit of coin on this one the other day. I've taken it up a couple of times. I like it. So you can finish the video here if you want. If you want my overall assessment, I like it. It's getting a lot of good press out there. Okay, I don't know that my assessment of the aircraft is in any way influences anyone. Barely, my opinion barely influences myself most days, but for what it's worth, I like it, and I might take you through a few reasons why. But for now, let me show you where we are and why we're here. Alright, little nav map. Yes, we're over there in the old country, Mother England today, and we're in sort of the eastern side, northeast of London. We begin our journey. Let me zoom in near a place called Ipswich. Now this will probably make one viewer happy. Well, I hope it makes you happy, mate. It makes me happy that you're a viewer. A subscriber, no less. And I know you've mentioned a few times that you are from this part of the world, and I always enjoy your contributions in the comments. So thank you for your support, mate. You know who you are. I thought I'd make the jaunt over here to your neck of the woods, departing from an aerodrome called Elmsett aerodrome, little grass strip by the looks of it. We'll fly overhead Ipswich towards the coast, take a left here at the junction of the A12 and the 14 by the looks of it. Are they highways or motorways? Or freeways? I don't quite remember what the terminology is. Anyway, we're going to follow the A12 pretty much in a northeasterly direction. Up overhead, Wickham Market, whatever that is down there, Yoxford. Never heard of these places. I'm guessing that some residents of England haven't heard of these places. What else? Where else are we going? Up here, what's this place? Wangford. Wangford, alright. Then it's a dog leg. We'll head in a sort of northerly direction, almost due north, up to a place called, what's this place? Beccles Aerodrome. Alright, and then we'll make another slight left-hand turn and head up overhead Norwich, which is here, and then end our journey in a very quaint little place called Little Snoring. Little Snoring. I had to choose that as my destination when I come through here. I know nothing about Little Snoring. I do know a lot about Big Snoring. I've been told that I snore, but you can't rely on the opinion of others, can you? Especially those that sleep in close proximity to you. What would they know? Anyway, folks, Elmsett to Little Snoring in the Analog Barren. That's the plan. We've got best part of 76 nautical miles ahead of us. It won't take us long. This thing gets along really well. I will tell you that I'm flying the normal Barren. There is also a turbo version. I haven't explored that yet. I will, but just not in this video. Anyway, let me get us started. Let's go flying. So welcome aboard, folks, and can I take this opportunity to say thank you for your support and your kindness. As always, it is appreciated. I do apologise if I haven't been able to respond to various comments and messages and correspondence in general of late, but I think I've caught up with most of it, and I want to say thank you. I also just want to hopefully alleviate any fears that a couple of people have expressed. I guess because I don't overshare on this channel. I hope I don't anyway. But people interpret, people fill in the gaps. Rest assured that things are okay. I've had a change in circumstances. Let me put it that way. I'm a very private person. I'm very protective of my privacy. I'm very protective of my family, people I care about. And I'll just leave it at that. Just a change in circumstances. Not all bad, but a change that makes it difficult for an old man to share his flight simulation experience via YouTube on a regular basis. And I don't know when that's going to change. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, folks, the Analog Barren, it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? I really think this aircraft, it suits steam gauges. I don't like it with the glass. Not the Barren. I do like, I've come to accept the glass, right? I'm not a glass denier. I'm not an anti-glasser. I don't like it in the Barren, even in the Bonanza. I think these aircraft, yeah, better with the steam for the old fella. Anyway, folks, lots to it. Like, there's lots to see, there's lots to do, lots of stuff works. The systems depth that they built into this aircraft is impressive. There's no question about that. I'm really hesitant to use the term study level, so I won't. Although we're seeing now, what I read the other day, there's now some aircraft being promoted, aircraft on the way that's going to be expert level. And I read that and I thought, what the bloody hell? Expert level? We're going to need bloody type ratings to fly the pixels in our simulator. I mean, it's getting a bit silly. But anyway, apparently this is, you know, the term that I prefer, other than study level, this is just me personally, high fidelity. That's what I'm going to use. This is a high fidelity aeroplane as I describe it, as I categorize it. Lots of stuff works. You actually have to fly this and operate it kind of realistically. There are consequences if you don't. Let me turn on some stuff for you. Flick some switches, get some screens happening, get some lights coming on and all that sort of stuff. So I'm running with the GTN. This is the free GTN, the PMS thing. I updated it the other day. I hope this is the latest version. It comes with a weather radar. That's a weather radar upsized. I want to talk about that just briefly. Weather radar, I believe it works. I've been flying it in clear conditions, so I can't verify it, but I'm going to take it from others that it does. What I like, the systems, the failure modelling and state saving and persistency and all of this, all those impressive sounding words. I like that they've included it on the weather radar and not as in a separate tablet down here or something. I like this. This is smart. I'm apparently running... I've been operating this aircraft really well. I'm running at 100%. Or does it start at 100% at every cold and dark? I wonder. Or every time you launch the sim? That I don't know. I can refill the oxygen. I could repair the engine had I needed to, reset all of the failures. By default, it comes to a global failure rate of real time. You can actually get rid of failures altogether by clicking that. You'll get no failures. If you don't want to take that risk, you can also make sure something goes wrong 512 times more than it should. Something's going to go wrong if you press that. I'm going to reset this back to no failures. Random or scheduled failures you can do. Active failures, if I've got some set, it would appear there. Detailed settings down here. That's your mean time between failure. Even I know MTBF. Remember that from the old days. Yeah, you can set a whole lot of stuff. Scheduled failures. What I'd need to do is probably do something like this. No. So can you set specific failures in here? Oh, active failures will come up when they're active, when there's something actually wrong, right? But can you not program specific failures? Is that, or is that in here? Ah, that's in here. First impressions, folks. You're learning as I am. As I said, there are better channels out there if you want an in-depth technical exploration of the aircraft by someone who knows what they're talking about. I know just enough to be dangerous. Basically, the map's over here. Our flight plan's plugged in. Looks kind of like that. We'll change our transponder to that. It's on standby. That's good. We've got the GNS 430. We can actually change that. And I might change it to this stack here. See? There we go. Just because I can. We're currently operating at 1 degree Celsius. It's a little cool here in the Baron. We'll adjust that momentarily. What else can I show you? A whole bunch of light switches down there. They all work and sound good and all that sort of stuff. Good panel lighting in here. It's really nice. Flew it late afternoon. My previous flight to this one. Just gorgeous. Yeah, all the usual stuff. Throttle prop and mixture. Trim, all of your trims down there. Your fuel selector. By default, it's on. Interestingly, I would expect it to be off, but anyway. They're both on, both tanks. All the circuit breakers which pop and you can press them and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, look, it's just a nice place to be. I will get it started out onto a runway here at Elm Street. We'll get airborne, get on our way, talk about some other aspects of the aircraft that have stood out to me, what I like about it, and there's a lot to like. And I also will use this video as a, I was going to say a tribute. I don't know if this is a tribute. It's a recognition video. The flight sim community lost a rather popular, sort of influential member of the community a little while ago, a few weeks ago I've only just sort of found out about it. I'm often late to the party, so late that I don't even attend. But anyway, I'll use this video to sort of make mention of that person. Anyway, we'll see you on the runway. We'll get out of here. Alright, so runway 23 here at Elms Tree. Relatively short grass strip ahead of us. Not much to this aerodrome. Looks like there's some solar panels over there. If you hail from this part of the world, give us a shout. Well, I know that at least one of you do. You can shout again if you want, mate. Always happy to hear from you. But there is someone else out there as well. A fellow Ipswichian. I'm sure that's not the correct term. We actually have an Ipswich in Australia. We probably have more than one, but we have the one I'm thinking of is in Queensland. I'm quite familiar with that. That Ipswich has quite a reputation. Undeserved, I think. We might have to do a flight out of that Ipswich one day. Anyway, it looks like we've got a fair old breeze across the nose. 10 to 12 knots. We've got approach flaps set. We've got trim set. Mixtures rich, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think we're pretty much right to go. Half fueled. Yeah, 5.5 is our plan. Beautiful day here. Absolutely beautiful. So, heading bug aligned, all that sort of stuff. Let's do it. Full juice. A little bit of aileron into that breeze. And a little bit of left boot. There we go. Accelerating. End of that strip's going to come up pretty quickly, isn't it? We'll sort of rotate around about here. Whoa. Crab into the breeze. Away we go. Positive rate. Flies beautifully. Beautiful to hand fly this thing. It was really stable in the autopilot as well. And we'll get flaps up nice and early as well. Come back on that. Come back on that juice. Cruise at about 25 even. 25 squared, I think is the term. 25, there we go. And that's about 500 feet. We'll call it AGL. Coordinated flight. Cruise climb at about 140, something like that. I think the book says you're supposed to cruise at 130. But let's just say I'm illiterate. Or just a damn rebel. More likely. Alright, we'll zoom out. Take up our track towards Ipswich Town Centre, I suppose it's called. It flies beautifully. Take an external for you. There we go. Lovely morning, lovely part of the world. Back inside. We'll sort of roll out onto a heading, intercept heading of about 070. Something like that. Hand flying still. It does climb pretty well. 1,500 feet. That's sort of 150 knots. Was what we were doing yesterday. We are light, admittedly. Half fuel, no packs. Yeah, it just flies beautifully. Got a view set up there. Gorgeous. Hope everyone's enjoying the sim after sim update 12. I hope the update process went well for you. It did for me, thankfully. Just changed, as the sim does, it changed the reset the windowed mode, or full screen to windowed, or windowed to full screen, one of those two. Does that every time. Oh, and it also changed my I can't remember what the setting is, where the TAA thing is, and the DLSS. Don't you like my technical skill, technical knowledge? It changed that to DLSS. I don't know why. It's back to TAA. I jumped into the sim and thought, geez, those numbers look a bit blurry. Anyway, folks, up through 3.5. Probably lean it a little bit. Keep that manifold up. Let's lean it out. We'll intercept. Got a pretty strong breeze here, 20 knots. Blowing across us. There's Ipswich. There you go. Hello to my friends over there in Ipswich. Folks, I'll continue the climb, get us to 5.5, and see you during the cruise. Alright, settled nice in the cruise. The GTN is telling us we've got just over half an hour till we reach our destination. We are dealing with a bit of a headwind, and that will become more of a headwind as we make the turn there at Beccles. 5,500. We could cruise at a higher altitude and fly this thing more efficiently, but yeah, nah. There she is. Beautiful looking aeroplane, isn't it? I think the turbo version comes with the winglets. The winglets look pretty good for mine. Kind of suit this aeroplane, in my humble opinion, but others may disagree. Baron always looked like a classy bird. Speaking of classy birds, Jude's on board, and that is the dog that you hear whimpering at this time. Probably lovesick for Jude, would be my guess. Probably now more of an angry lovesick, perhaps more of a, hey mate, can I be fed feeling at this point. We'll take care of him momentarily, folks, but there she is. The mother country looks beautiful, hey, in this sim, and it's performing well after a period of, it felt like months of just battling performance issues in the sim. Everything's going reasonably well, although I still have issues whenever I fly with real-time traffic enabled. That's when you get some stutters appear. But if you don't fly with real-time traffic or some sort of traffic, it's a pretty lonely old place, I reckon. And I like to feel, well, like there's someone here with me. Otherwise it's just me talking to myself. And who knows, this video may get absolutely no views. And it may just be me talking to myself. I don't know. Anyway, folks, when we make the turn, in another sort of 10 minutes or so, I'll rejoin you for a second cruise segment, and talk about that, the recent passing of a flight sim community influencer. I'll see you then. Alright, so 21 minutes left to go. Onto our final leg in towards a little snoring. Over here in England. Everything's going well. The aircraft is just an absolute treat. My opinion, for what it's worth, is it's good value in terms of what you're getting. Look, 32 US, which is 50 something Aussie. For me, that's actually a fair chunk of change. I've been pretty frugal of late. I've had to be around my flight simulation purchasing. But I saw this one was coming up, and I thought I'll get value out of that because I'm going to fly it a lot. I love Beechcraft aircraft. Probably more of a bowman than a Baron man, but I really like what the team at Black Square have done here, bringing not just the steam gauges, but there's a whole lot of systems depth here, which is impressive. I probably won't. I won't take full advantage of it. Like, I'm not looking. When I fire up the sim, it's to escape. Very occasionally to make a video. To escape and to have a bit of a break. And I'm not necessarily looking to be assessed. I don't want every flight to be a flight test, sort of thing, is what I'm trying to say. You can make every flight a flight test in an aircraft like this, if you want to. I like to know that it's there. I like that it has consequences. I like that you've actually got to do stuff properly. But I like that it's there rather than taking full advantage of it, if that makes sense. If you're an absolute purist and you want to fly by the numbers and you want to do everything by checklists, speaking of which, let me show you. It comes with a whole bunch of checklists, some of which I've needed to use. Maybe the engine start flooded, and maybe the engine start hot I've had to use. But yeah, in terms of learning the aeroplane, this is a pretty good way to do it. So yeah, overall impression of the of the add-on is absolutely positive, no question about that. We've got our temperature under control, 22 degrees Celsius, that's nice. I find the temperature a little bit finicky to sort out. You've got to continually kind of be flicking switches to get it right, and sort of changing the level of airflow and all that sort of stuff down here, but it works. It's nice to have something to do in the cruise. So we've got 53 nautical miles to go. Take you back outside. I mentioned that this flight was a bit of a, a recognition of a person who recently departed. I speak, of course, of Mr. Matt Davies, who hails from England. I think from the north of England. I just don't know exactly where. Otherwise known as Bellends. Look, he was a bit of a... Look, he was a character. I don't think there's any denying that he's a character. It wasn't everyone's cup of tea. And there are times that I switched off a bit. He kind of... How do I put this? I think he said some stupid stuff. And those of you that have been around the flight simulation community for a while, just as my birds decide that they want to remind me of what that stupid stuff was, those of you that have been around the community for a while will probably know what I refer to. And labelling people on VATSIM, quite derogatory terms, and it was just a stupid comment. I think some of his business practices also rub people the wrong way. I think he was a bit of a dreamer. I didn't know the bloke personally. I don't think I ever interacted with him. But I certainly enjoyed a lot of his content back in the day. It was entertaining. And he was quite influential. I mean, we talk a lot about influencers these days. He was quite influential in the community. Himself, the likes of Frugal, those of you that remember him. They post a video of something and people would take notice. That's genuine influence, right? But yeah, his business practices, he sort of owned that flight, what's it called? Project Fly, which has since ceased. And there was promises made there, and he had coders working on it, and they were complaining about not getting paid and stuff, and yeah, there was some aggro. I never got involved in it. I think it was also an A380 that he was planning to release. I mean, it was just a pipe dream. I think Vaporware is the label that the cool kids give it. I think he was a dreamer. I think he was just, how do you put it, like his ego was writing checks that his capability couldn't cash. I'll put it that way. I'm not trying to be hard on the bloke. Like I said, I enjoyed his content, P3D content. It was genuine entertainment. He was a genuine character. He wasn't afraid to be himself, and that kind of resonates with me. I think he said and did some stupid things. I guess if I was affected sort of financially by his business practices, I may have a different view as well. So I'm not trying to turn him into a saint here, but he was a genuine influencer. Every man and his dog has a bloody YouTube channel these days. I mean, have a look at this. You're now watching a man and a dog. Well, the man and his dog are making a video for you. Thank God you're not actually looking at the man and his dog at this point. Put you off your dinner. But, yeah, back in the day, very influential. So RIP to you, sir. COVID complications was what I read. Really struggled after getting the dreaded virus, as so many people have and are. And yeah, got him in the end. But thanks for the content, Bellends. Folks, I'll see you for an approach into Little Snoring. Now, I know I said I'd join you next for an approach into Little Snoring. Those of you that have been paying attention at home those of you that are familiar with this part of the world may have caught on long before I did to the fact that we're long past little snoring. In fact, our flight plan is taking us to a completely different location. EG22, at least according to the navigation data that's here in the sim, is Burwell Airport, not Little Snoring. Little Snoring was back in here somewhere. It may even be that one. I don't know. But EG22 is not where we want to go. It's where we're going to end up. I'm not going to turn around and find Little Snoring and go through all that drama. I'm just going to let the Baron do its thing, and in 26 miles we're going to touch down at Burwell Airport. I don't know how that's happened. I don't really need to know. We've got issues with our cabin temperature. It's now -2. That's what I said before. You kind of want to get the heater happening, mate. We'll come back down here. We're at -1. Rather cool. Not as cold as Jude's blood, but getting there. There we go. We're building up. We're getting getting rid of the ice. Does this thing have de-icing? He asks. Don't think it does. It does. Yeah. I was looking right at it when I said I don't think it does. There's something in that. I think I'm losing my touch. I think I lost my touch a long time ago, to be honest. But it does have de-icing. Folks, I'll see you for an approach into Burwell Airport. That's pretty cool. Wind farms out in the ocean. Alright, 7 miles to run, folks, down into Burwell. Just down through 2,000 feet now, about 150 knots. So we can think about getting some flap out once we lose a few knots. 150 odd knots is our gear extension speed, and our first stage of flap, I think. We're probably going to land with a bit of a crosswind here. Runway 06, I'm informed, is the best choice here at Burwell. Let's get rid of that flight director, pesky flight director. Sim Update 12, of course, introduced a selectable sort of turbulence setting. I am currently running with the realistic one set. I have tried the other ones. They felt a bit lackluster to me, and it feels to me like Asobo have actually dialed down the realistic turbulence setting anyway, so it's a bit reduced. I think it feels about right. It was a bit overcooked in previous versions of the sim. Many people have mentioned that. But yeah, realistic setting is what I'm running here. And look, this aircraft, as I mentioned earlier, flies really well. Hand flies really nicely. Stable. The ground handling is an issue in this sim beyond this aeroplane. Kind of got a bit squirrely in previous flights. We'll see how we go this time. I'm not just giving myself an excuse to botch the rollout. There is some issue in this sim in terms of some of the ground handling. Yeah. There we go. Look, beautiful. Weather's held up beautifully, and just an absolute joy to fly in this part of the world again in a quality add-on. Going through 1.5. We've got 3 miles to run. The field should be somewhat over here. How's that for vague? Somewhat over here. Runway 6 is the go. We'll try to give ourselves a bit of a right base. We're at 3 miles. Very much on profile. We will take first stage of flap, and I will take gear. I don't know whether this is a paved surface or not. What am I looking out for? All I'm seeing at the moment is fields. into 120 now, so we can take final flap. 1.8 miles. What am I looking for? A runway, ideally. Where is said runway? Is it a gravel strip? As another dog decides that she too needs attention, or perhaps it's just getting a little bit nervous, more than likely. Where is this strip? We're at 500 feet. We're now getting too fast. Anyone see anything remotely resembling a strip? Supposedly, it's kind of here. Oh, that might be it just here. This little grass strip down here. It probably is. That's alright. So we'll do a low-level circuit. Don't try this at home, folks. We'll come back, swing around to a left circuit back onto runway 24 instead. Dog getting very anxious at this point, and with good reason. She's like my canary in the coal mine. Alright. Just come back on that. Come back on that speed. Nice low level. Teardrop back onto 2.4. We'll cut the power. Reduce the power a little bit, I should say. Take final flap as we turn onto final. There's 120 knots. Nice steepish turn. What's 60 degrees between friends? Is there a runway somewhere? Yes, there is. It's over there. Getting very slow now. Feel that sink. It's been a semi-professional flight until this point. Till the concluding stages. This was a runway, wasn't it? It is now. Here we go. Kamikaze. Oh, never in doubt. Will we pull up by the end? Never in doubt. There you go, folks. Apologies to the purists out there. I think Matt Davies would have enjoyed that. Just quietly. That's all that matters. Folks, thanks for your company in another video, and for your support and your kindness as always. It is very much appreciated. That's been a first impressions look at the new analog Baron here in the Microsoft Sim. Until next time, bye for now.